Let's try to understand why we need thread local where we are using multiple threads to run the tests. So here I'm running the test with, let's say, two threads. So thread 1 will run suppose test 1 and thread 2 will run suppose test 2. Let's say each test has two steps. So in the first step it is gonna read the product details on the web page and then store it in the product object. And the second step is verify that these product details match with the database. Okay, these are the two steps. If you are using the single threads, then it is very easy. So it will execute first test. Let's say it grabs this data from the page where the product ID is 2 and price is 23. It will go to the database and check that details are matching. And the same thread will go to the next test. It will get these details from the page and then compare it with the database. That's it. But in multi-thread, what happens is that it is not necessary that these particular steps will run in sequence. So these steps can be interleaved for these two tests. Let's say thread 1 has completed this step 1 where it has read these product details on the page where ID and price is stored in this product object. Okay. Now before the thread 1 gets the chance to run the next step, what happens is that thread 2, which is running the test 2, comes and then reads these product details on the page and then stores those details in the product object as well. So here the product object is common. Okay, so what is happening here is that thread 1 had set these attributes for the product with IDs 2 and price 23, but thread 2 has overridden those values with ID 3 and price 44. So now next time when this thread 1 is gonna execute this step 2, what is gonna happen is that it is gonna read these values, right? 3 and 44 instead of 2 and 23. And reason why this is happening is because this product object is common between these tests. So most of the times what happens is that automation testers use this kind of technique to store the product details. So they will have a product holder class, something like that, and this is how they are gonna set that product details using set product method. And to get that product, they can use this get product method. And remember that they're using these static methods and static variables. So since this is a static product, what happens is that both the threads are gonna see the same details. So if one thread overrides the data, both the threads will see the same data, which will lead to the test failures. And that is why we need the separate copies of this product object. Okay, so each thread will get an independent copy of the product object, and then there will not be any conflict. So if thread 1 stores this data 223, in the next step it is gonna read the same data and it will be compared. And for us, the thread 2 as well, it will get the independent copy of this product object. And to get this independent copy of the product object, we need thread local. So if you look at the implementation of this particular class, here you can see we are using this thread local to store the products. Okay, so what it does is that whenever a thread is gonna invoke this particular method, say set context or get context, it is gonna create a separate copy of this particular object. So if there are two threads, there will be two copies of the product object. If there are three threads, there will be three copies, and so on and so forth. And whenever they are retrieving the product, each thread will get its own copy. Okay, and that's why there will not be any conflict. And that is why this thread local is very important when running the tests in multiple threads in Java.